and compendious, but I also want it to be very, very comprehensive.
Dude, he put music in the background. God damn, dude. He literally, oh God, his apology video, which I'm sure will be, first of all, he said concise, 73 minutes, not exactly concise.
And I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. There's been many different versions of my life story, which have been put on the internet as of late and from many years ago. But I'm gonna give a very, very quick overview of my story.
Andrew Tate did one debate and then his life fell apart, dude. Andrew Tate, this is a story about never doing debates. Don't do it.
My life has always been difficult. I've certainly had a difficult life. I preach to the people who follow me that as a man, trauma and difficulty is extremely important because it's the building blocks for mental fortitude and physical fortitude.
A former friend of mine was posting on Facebook and his ex commented, I literally used to you daily. Oh my God.
So I'm very, very happy that my life has been difficult because it's impossible to become a capable man or a man of my capability without struggling with facing.
Dude, why is everything he owns so gray? A real man doesn't have a couch. It also goes along like a bond layer. Interior decoration is female behavior. Are you a woman? Why do you care about your interior decoration?
Adversities without trying to overcome often insurmountable odds. I grew up in South Side of Chicago. I'm obviously a person of color. I was bullied in school to a degree, and my father always taught me to stick up for myself. I was never allowed to run and cry to authority. I was told that if—
Oh man, hit the I'm a POC so quick. He hit the I'm actually a POC, and I'm from the South Side of Chicago so quick, dude. It's crazy.
Someone wants to mess with you or come at you, you can't always go tell the teacher. Sometimes you have to deal with it. I was actually picked on by these two kids.
He's from Gary, Indiana, by the way. Big
home.
L.
I think I was around 5 and they were around 7. They were a bit older than me, and they used to pick on me on the school bus. They'd sit behind me, throw things at me, hit me, etc. And I came home and I told my dad about it. I said, Dad, these 2 kids are picking on me every single time I get the school bus. I don't know what to do. And my dad said, I'm not going to call the teacher.
Wait, is he going to turn around and be like, that's why I became the bully? Like, what do you mean? What are you teaching children? Dog, this is a villain origin story. He's like, I was bullied, so I became the bully, and then I told other people to also become the bullies.
The teacher ain't on the bus, and I'm not going to call the school bus driver because they're busy driving. Son, if you want to deal with this, you're going to have to deal with it yourself. And I said, but Dad, they're bigger than me. What do you want me to do? There's 2 of them and they're bigger than me. And at the time, I'd just come home from school and I was holding a lunchbox. And my dad pointed and said, you have a lunchbox, son? Teach them. So weeks had passed. It was a few weeks.
Dad said, do an assault with a weapon. That's awesome.
They kept picking on me, and I felt myself sitting there getting more insecure, and the rage was boiling inside of me. And one day, one of them slapped me in the side of the face from behind. I was sitting on the chair. He slapped me in the face from behind. And instantly, I don't know what it was, but this was the day I had enough. And I turned with my lunchbox and swung it over the back of the school bus chair and caught him and busted his eye clean open. The plastic Batman lunch.
Is that editing? No shot. He put sound effects on this?
Lunchbox. Hit him in the eye and blood started squirting everywhere. All the children started screaming. And as I did this, the bus had just come up to a stop. It was a few stops before my stop, but it had stopped. And as the bus stopped and the screaming happened, I just got up and I just ran off the bus and ran home. I've never run so fast or so far in my life. I was full of adrenaline. I just ran. When I got home, I had blood on my clothes and my dad looked at me.
Bro, what is this story time production, dude? Yo, there's like sound effects in his story. Yo, okay, I should have watched this before, bro. This shit's funny as hell.
So what happened? And I said, that kid, I won't say his name. I said his name at the time. I said, that kid, he hit me in the face and I
won't say his name? What are you gonna fucking dox someone from 30 years ago, bro?
I had enough of getting hit in the face, and I was still holding the lunchbox, but it was all smashed up where I'd hit him with it. And my dad kind of smiled a little bit and said, don't worry, son, get in the car. We got in the car and we went to Walmart. We walked up and down the aisle, and he looked and picked up another lunchbox, an exact replica of the same blue Batman lunchbox, gave it to me and said, I'll buy you as many of these as you need. And that was the last we spoke of it. Funnily enough, I never saw that kid again. I don't know if he changed schools. I don't know what his parents did, but I never saw that child again.
He killed him. He died, bro. The moral of the story, kill your enemies. That's what I learned at the age of 5. Also, his accent went away. I can't even do his accent now. He doesn't even sound like himself. What the fuck's going on?
So even from a very, very young age, I was taught that going to authority and crying and hoping someone else is going to fix your problems is not the way a man should conduct himself. When I left Chicago, I moved to Luton, England, which was...
Bro, he's from Gary, Indiana. He's not from Chicago. He's not from Southside Chicago. That's fake. He's doing the classic bit of like, listen, if you're close enough to Chicago, you just say you're from Chicago. Another classic thing is like when people grow up in, well, maybe not Dearborn, but if you grow up in like Ann Arbor or some shit, you always say you're from Detroit because like you want to present yourself as hard, okay? Now, Luton is actually dog shit from what I understand. So like Luton, that part is real. Isn't Gary, Indiana the most dangerous city in the U.S.? I don't know why he doesn't say he's from there. Why does he say he's from Southside Chicago? He's literally right next to Southside Chicago. That's why I think he's saying Southside Chicago because it sounds cooler. And immediately people know like, oh, that's... People don't know Gary, Indiana like that, but everybody knows what Southside Chicago is. And he wants like street cred.
Single mother household. And now I'm a person of color in a single mother household. I'm also the only American at
I think I know why. Say Gary in his accent. Gary, Indiana.
the time in Luton. And I had, again, repeat problems in school. I was picked on for being the only American. I was picked on for not knowing things I should have known because I hadn't been through the English educational system. I'd been through the American educational system. And I had trouble in school again, but I stuck up for myself. Unfortunately, nothing got violent at any point, but when people made fun of me, I stood up.
He's a person of color. He's black. He's half black. His dad's black. I've never seen him directly say really awful shit, like super racist shit about black people, but I have seen him say super racist shit that other racist people say about black people. Like if a purple person was constantly stealing your shit, and you saw a purple person and you thought to yourself, oh, this purple person is going to steal my shit, that's normal. If you didn't think that, yeah, he's used, yeah, purple is the, instead of saying like a black person, or instead of using the classic example that like racist people use, he says like, in order to basically remove himself of like any sort of like, this guy's a racist takes, he says purple.
Stood up and said, listen, don't make fun of me. I'm from a different place and I talk differently. And I always understood that standing up for yourself, I never went to the teacher, I never cried to anybody else. I just stood up for myself. And over time, people learned respect for me and my boundaries. And they were very respectful of me. And I had a very positive experience from then on out in school by simply standing up for myself, because this is how I was taught to act. In high school, I ended up having a reputation of a guy that nobody really messed with. I certainly wasn't a bully. Absolutely.
The Black Manosphere kicked Tate out a while ago? No, I don't think so. Fresh and Fit love Andrew Tate. What do you mean? They dick ride him so hard?
And he would make fun of me for being American, and I would make fun of him for being gay back then. But the world was a very, very different place. This is many, many years ago. And we had friendly banter back and forth, but we were very good friends. And I stuck up for him and prevented anyone else picking on him all of the time. And the banter between us, the locker room talk, which would be considered absolutely unacceptable today, at the time was very, very normal. And we had a great time. We were good friends. And I heard from him, actually, after this ban. And he said, you should mention the fact that the things they say about you completely aren't true. And this leads me on to the reason I believe these narratives